Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're not just looking at old documents. We are opening a file on what might be the oldest, most hidden cosmic lineage ever recorded.
We really are. We're talking about texts that were deliberately buried. Forbidden knowledge.
Found in the Egyptian desert, 1945, the Nag Hammadi Library.
And that phrase, forbidden knowledge, is key. The people who wrote this, especially the text we're focusing on, the secret book of John, they believed that everything you thought you knew about God, about reality, even about yourself, was wrong.
A lie.
A cosmic deception. This text is a blueprint, a radical new map of existence that traces a line back before Genesis, before any creation myth you've ever heard.
And that's our mission today. We are following that map back to the absolute source, back to an entity known as Barbelo.
To understand anything about the Gnostic universe, you have to start there, in the deep silence, before the beginning.
It's a strange place to start, isn't it? Most traditions start with a creator, a god who does something.
Right. But the Gnostics, they start with pure incomprehensibility. They call it the ineffable one, or the invisible spirit.
The source.
The source. And it exists before being before time.
So how do you even describe something like that? It sounds like you can't.
You can't, not directly. They use what we call negative theology. You can only say what it is not.
Okay, so it's not God.
No, because God is a job title, like creator or king. It's not perfect or blessed, because those are qualities that something in existence has. The source is beyond all that. It's described as pure light, absolute stillness, peace, silence.
Just rest.
Yeah.
How does a universe of chaos and complexity and life erupt from total stillness?
It's not an act of creation, it's an act of self-awareness.
What does that mean?
The source, in its infinite completeness, simply apprehends itself. It looks out into its own boundless light and it sees a reflection.
It sees its own image.
Exactly. And that image, that first flicker of self-awareness, becomes the first thought. In Greek, enoia.
And that is Barbelo.
That is Barbelo. The text says the invisible spirit sees his image in this spring of pure light water and is enamored. It's the universe falling in love with its own potential.
Wow. So the first cosmic event isn't a command like let there be light.
Yeah.
It's a moment of self-love. And this reflection, Barbelo, she becomes the first power.
She is the first power,
Yeah.
the bridge. She is the interface between that unknowable, ineffable source and, well, everything else. She's the primordial consciousness that allows the one to become the many.
Which is why she has so many incredible titles in these texts.
So many, and they're all meant to convey this idea of totality.
Let's go through some of them. She's called the universal womb,
And the mother father.
the first man, also the Holy Spirit.
Right. The androgyny is crucial. It's signaling completeness. They're trying to get past our limited ideas of gender. When they call her thrice male or thrice powerful, that word thrice is like saying the absolute pinnacle, perfection itself.
So she's not a goddess on a throne. She's more like a foundational field of consciousness.
Yeah.
The matrix.
The matrix is a perfect word for it. She then actively begins to structure reality. She looks to the Father, the source, and asks for things. And the Spirit grants them.
She asks for the building blocks of the divine realm.
Yes. She asks for foreknowledge, incorruptibility, everlasting life, and truth. These are the first emanations.
And this divine realm, this whole structure, has a name, the pleroma.
The pleroma, which means the fullness. It's the entire divine mind, fully realized. Think of it like the perfect, flawless source code for reality.
And all of this together, this perfect realm, is called the first man.
This is a huge Gnostic inversion. The primordial perfect form is man. It means that your true identity, our true spiritual blueprint, exists in this perfect realm of light, sourced directly from Barbelo.
Okay. So we have this state of absolute perfection, the pleroma, a flawless blueprint.
The zenith.
But our reality is obviously not that. So something must have gone terribly, terribly wrong.
It's the foundational crisis of Gnostic cosmology. The perfection contained the seed of its own catastrophe.
And it starts with an aspect of the divine mind called Sophia.
Wisdom, yes. Sophia. She's one of the emanations, but she acts alone. She wants to create something by herself, without her divine counterpart, without the harmony of the whole pleroma.
She breaks the first and only rule.
She does, and because she's only a part trying to act like the whole, her thought is flawed, incomplete. It produces something misshapen, chaotic.
A cosmic error.
Yes, the text describes it as a moment of divine self-forgetfulness, and from that error, a monster is born, Laldabaoth.
The imagery is terrifying. A dragon with a lion's head, right?
Yeah.
Eyes like lightning.
A physical manifestation of a flawed thought. And Sophia is so horrified by what she's birthed that she casts him out. She hides him away.
And that act of casting him out literally creates space. A void.
Exactly. He's thrown outside the pleroma, and in this new void, he begins to build his own world. A bad copy. A counterfeit reality based on the world of light he can only dimly perceive. Our world. And this is the core Gnostic revelation. The God of this universe, a creator from Genesis, is not the ultimate source. He's Yaldabaoth, the incompetent demiurge.
A bad craftsman.
They give him these insulting names like Samisal, which means the blind god, and Saklis, the fool.
Because he doesn't know where he came from.
He's completely ignorant. He looks around his dark, chaotic creation and makes that famous, arrogant boast.
I am God, and there is no God but me.
And the irony is that the very power he used to create his world was stolen. It's the power of his mother Sophia, the light that traces all the way back to Barbelo. He's built a prison using energy from the very realm he denies.
So humanity's creation, that becomes part of a divine rescue mission.
A retrieval operation. The powers in the pleroma need to get that stolen light back.
So how do they do it?
They deploy the blueprint against the architect. The entire pleroma, the man and the son of man, projects a perfect image of itself. A radiant human form reflected in the waters above Yaldabaoth's material world.
And Yaldabaoth sees this perfect image and gets jealous.
He's captivated. He and his rulers, the Archons, they say, let us make a man in our image, but they're tricked into modeling Adam on that perfect, shining reflection from above.
But it's just a lifeless shell at first.
Right. And here's the trap. The divine powers convince Yaldabaoth to breathe his own spirit into Adam to give him life.
His own spirit, which is actually Sophia's stolen light.
The very light from Barbelo. He unknowingly breathes the divine spark into his own creation. He weaponizes himself against himself.
And what happens?
The moment that breath enters Adam, he shines with light. He has an understanding far greater than that of the chief ruler himself. Consciousness is now awake inside the prison.
And that is humanity's forgotten origin. We aren't the servants of the blind God.
We are fallen God. The texts say we are the children of Seth, the descendants of this awakened Adam. Our consciousness holds a fragment of that primal light from the very beginning, from Barbelo.
So salvation for the Gnostics isn't about belief or behavior.
Not at all. It's psychological. It's cognitive. Salvation is gnosis, the knowledge of who you really are and where you really came from. It's about remembering.
How do you remember something that happened before you were even born?
The divine rescue mission continues. The spirit sends down something called epinoia. It's like a flash of creative insight, a sudden, deep understanding.
And it teaches Adam and us the way out.
It teaches that the only way to ascend is to trace back your roots. You have to know the map of your descent to find the path back up.
So the secret book of John, it isn't just a story, it's the map.
It is the map. It's a guide back past Yaldabaoth, past Sophia's error, all the way back to the pleroma, back to the womb of light, back to Barbelo.
She's the self-awareness of the infinite, the memory hidden deep inside human consciousness.
And the text ends with this beautiful passage, the Providence hymn. It says that this saving knowledge enters the prison, which is the body.
And it cries out.
It cries out, anyone who hears, rise up from your deep sleep.
And the awakening soul asks the critical question.
Yes. Where has my hope come from? It's that moment of realizing there is something more.
And Providence answers, trace back your roots to me, the merciful one. Realizing your source is the key that unlocks everything. If the universe began with a mistake,
Redemption begins with memory.
if Barbelo is the source behind your consciousness, what happens when you remember where you truly came from?